All right. Now it's going to the right place.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, this is the second episode of Convo, dated June 13th, 2021. I am talking professional wrestling with my neighbor of 2 years, Melissa Rice.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, I mean, just about. I mean, two years would be in September, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was actually I was talking to one of my best friends last night about the fact that, we had a couple of people live over there. You by far are like my favorite because you're quiet, you keep to yourself, you're polite. The one time I've heard you scared the crap out of me, but it's totally understandable. You were sick.
Yeah.
And I was actually way wrong. He didn't die until 93, Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought he died earlier than that.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I mean, there's like, I mean, he was like the legend. I mean, his actual height was like 6'10", but he was billed as
7'4".
7 feet or even taller because he was so much larger than life that even people who saw him in person thought he was taller than that.
Well, I actually Googled him. His build height was 5'4", 7'4". His build weight was 520 pounds.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, but the thought of him compared to me,
Mhm.
because I'm only like 5'2" on my best day.
Yeah.
So even at his actual height, he was still quite
Yeah.
the giant compared to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of funny stories, some of which I'm not even sure they're true surrounding him. For instance, one of his favorite things he likes to do is he likes to pretend to be stuck in little cars like VW wagons and Alfa Romeos.
I would think he would have gotten stuck in a VW bug,
Yeah,
with, that size.
yeah.
I know, and I know it was a wrestler before my time, Haystack Calhoun,
Mhm.
um, a place I used to work in the Bay Area. We actually had a pair of bib overalls that were like his size.
Yeah,
They were 74 32s. And no, it was either the bibs or it was this like 70 by 32 Ben Davis pants.
uh-huh.
Either way, but it was like the tag on them said, Haystack wore this size 2 or something like that. And I'm just like sitting there going, that is one really big man. I would not want them on me.
Yeah, I remember Haystack Calhoun and Hillbilly Jim.
Yes, like I said, that was before me. I remember, like I was saying now, uh, Bret Hart, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior,
Yeah.
which I still, because my son's really just obsessed with wrestling. Um, and I remember when the Ultimate Warrior was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and it was like the following night he was on Raw,
Mhm.
and he had this just really nice speech. And he was talking about how, the last breath, the last beat of the heart, And like the following day he died.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was like, did he know that he was dying? Because I don't know that I ever heard what he died from.
Yeah, there's back in the late '90s, they tried to get Warrior to cross over to WCW,
Mm-hmm.
but the negotiations fell through. But for some reason, even though it's quote sports entertainment and it was meant to happen, Hogan could never really get over losing the WWF championship to Warrior. So what happened was that Bischoff, who was running that promotion at the time, he hired some male stripper named Rick Wilson. Uh, painted him up like the Ultimate Warrior. Gave him the alias the Renegade, and the guy couldn't wrestle for crap.
Oh God.
He didn't know how to bump. He didn't know how to sell it. Sell, where you act like you're hurting from getting the blows you're getting.
Yeah.
And then one of the Hollywood blondes who was starting to go solo. He was starting to get into this nice little feud with Ric Flair. He decided, you know what, I'm not going to take the dive for this guy. He actually turned it into a real fight. It lasted for 45 minutes, and then they fired him right after that.
Oh crap.
Wrestler's name? Stunning Steve Austin.
I was gonna say, wasn't Stone Cold one of those two?
Yeah.
And now I mean, Austin's one of the biggest names there is too in wrestling.
Yeah.
Him, the Undertaker, Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
Which that watching his retirement.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember. I want to say it was Survivor Series that he debuted.
Yeah.
And so that's the same one that he actually retired at.
Yeah. He never. And it was really cool that Undertaker and Macho Man Randy Savage, neither of them broke characters throughout their whole careers.
Yeah, it wasn't until after he retired, or that he was retiring, or somewhere around that area, that you got a look at behind the scenes at Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
Because there was a WWE Network special. I've got it on DVD. Called Undertaker, like The Undertaker's Last Ride or something like that. It's The Last Ride. And it shows you like his last year or couple years, because like he had I'm still sore about him losing his streak to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
It wouldn't have bugged me so much, I think. It probably still would have, but Brock Lesnar is one of those champions that it's like he would only defend the belt at pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And not even every pay-per-view.
Well,
it's like, that's not a champion.
Yeah, every promotion, including big WWE, they have that rule that a champ has to defend his title at least once a month. So it kind of, so it's like, yeah, what's so special about this guy that he only gets to defend it once, every 6 months?
Yeah. I mean, there were some that, I mean, Raw, SmackDown, it didn't matter. They were still defending it.
Yeah.
They'd have like an open call. Hey, you want a title shot? Let's go for it. And Brock wasn't like that. And for the streak to die, but I don't think it was meant to die at Brock. But the
Yeah.
Taker
Now, what I really have respect for is when you have professional wrestlers like Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley competing in MMA because when they're competing in MMA, they have to work twice as hard as everyone else because those black belts and those golden gloves boxing champions do not want to lose to a pro wrestler.
Yeah. Well, even Ronda Rousey, because wasn't she MMA or one of those?
She was MMA, then she crossed over to pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I haven't followed it in a while, but it did blow my mind seeing all those releases. People just getting sacked left and right.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Braun Strowman was Ruby Riott. She's one of the newer ones. She got released with Braun Strowman, in fact.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair, I think I heard with her, I'm not sure what exactly happened, but she didn't get fired. She got like suspended, like indefinitely or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And then her or Daddy made such a flipping, commotion about it. And I understand that the Flair name is good for business.
Yeah.
But, and she's kicked some butt. But I think it had to do with like she'd put hands on a ref or something after, once the show had finished taping.
Mm-hmm.
It, how it kind of keeps going a little bit after the taping's done for the audience. She put her hands on a ref because they've made that a huge no-no in the WWE.
Yeah. You're freezing up on me. Hello? Well, we're having technical difficulties, but stay on for a bit. Pause recording while we wait.
Which is fine. Okay, where's my camera? Boy, we're having some major difficulties today. First, the freaking internet. I guess the kids were playing with it.
Right.
I don't know how to fix my camera.
I'll just pause recording and then we'll resume okay. But yeah, those yeah, that all that talent getting released, budget cuts. There's actually a rumor that the McMahons are planning on selling WWE and its related properties to Disney.
What is it, Disney? I heard, I don't know if it's NBC, it's owned by Disney, but I had heard NBC. Because
because there's a ton of that stuff over on Peacock.
yeah. I had actually heard the same thing, and I had sent a link to my son about it. Like, and this was probably a couple weeks ago. And he goes, "Oh, that's just fake news, Mom." I was like, I've heard it a couple times since then, and they're letting even more people off since then, dude.
Yeah.
Are we sure? I mean, especially when they're letting off big names. It's not just some of the, lesser known names now. It's, people that have recently held titles. Which tells you nobody's freaking safe in that company right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's been so much. I mean,
yeah, Mickey James, who's now right here, is now leading the women's division over at AEW.
Oh, Mickey.
Yeah.
I still miss, depending on where you go, Dean Ambrose, also known as John Moxley at AEW. Because, he was known as the Lunatic French. He was crazy and got away with it. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, I liked him as Dean Ambrose too, because it reminded me a lot of Piper when I was a kid. He was my favorite back then.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about me when I was a kid, and I'm still like this to an extent, is that I was a reflexive contrarian. Everybody liked Hulk, but I liked whoever his rival was that year. So Piper was my favorite for a long time. Even when he would do his face turns and he'd be a good guy.
Well, it's like, you've got people that, oh, well, I like the baby face, or, I like heel, and I'm just like, I don't care if they're heel or they're baby face. I'm going to like them or I'm going to dislike them, whether they're one or the other.
Yeah, I'm the guy who's chanting, John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks.
The funny part about that note is my kid, Logan, let me rephrase this because I've got the spectrum here. With Logan, at one point, he was all about John Cena.
Yeah.
And suddenly it became like John Cena was the worst thing on earth.
Yeah.
He's now to the point he's like, Cena sucks. And
yeah.
It's like, you used to love John Cena, dude. So what happened? I don't know, Mom. In fact, it was funny because the WrestleMania that they had here in San Francisco, sorry, all of a sudden a pop-up came up behind my thing. Yeah. But he was actually at that WrestleMania. His dad's brother got them tickets to go. And I heard that, like, The Undertaker, because there were two main reasons I was jealous of the fact my kid got to go to that WrestleMania. And it had nothing to do with the fact he was at WrestleMania. It was The Undertaker, and it was the Icon, Sting.
Yeah.
I was one of those, yes, growing up, I was a huge Sting fan.
Yeah.
I actually have the shirt they got me that is a Sting shirt from that day. But I was like, just with the fact it was like, dude, you're going to see The Undertaker. And then the fact that it was Sting and the fact that he'd always been WCW.
Yeah.
You know? And it was like, that was his one huge WWE, you know. And my kid, who was, I don't remember how many years ago this was. So, I mean, but he wasn't even 10 yet.
Yeah.
He's only 12 right now. He'll be 13 later this year. You know, I mean, he's had that experience. I was like, dude, do you know how lucky you are? He's like, I don't care. But I heard The Undertaker's entrance would have been so much cooler if it would have been just a little bit darker even.
Yeah.
But his match was a little bit earlier, so it was, you know, it wasn't quite dark yet, so you didn't get the full effect.
Yeah.
But what was cool when Undertaker retired, did you remember, you know, Paul Bear?
I remember him.
They did like a hologram or something of him, and they had the voice with it.
Yeah, wow.
So it actually showed Taker, you know, doing his thing on his knee to Paul Bear.
Wow.
It was like, even now I'm getting goosebumps about it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I actually was like sending my kid, I think it was like a link I found on YouTube where I had taken a picture of it or something. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I don't watch it as much anymore. You know, I mean, I still try to keep somewhat up to date on kind of what's going on so that it gives him and I something to talk about.
Yeah, it's not the same without the audience.
No, it's not. That's the signs and everything. And then they don't take care of their wrestlers.
Yeah.
And it's become very evident in past years. And it bugs me because, like Benoit, I get what he did was wrong with, you know, Nancy and Daniel. I get it. You know, I'm not saying it was right. But why are you taking every accomplishment that man had and erasing it? Keep him out of the Hall of Fame. Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like he's not supposed to even be mentioned in the WWE.
Yeah.
You know, they try to work their way around anything having to do with him. There's still his matches on the network, like when he won the title. I can't remember which title it was, the big one, when it was him, HBK, and Triple H. WrestleMania 20, I think is what it was. When he won that title. But he had beaten out, what, like almost everybody else in the Royal Rumble to get that title shot.
Yeah.
That right there is a feat, because it's not something many have done.
Mm-hmm.
But you had the multiple concussions, the loss of Eddie, which, hello, Eddie. Sure, the main reason he had a heart attack was all the drug and alcohol abuse he did. And that's another way they weren't taking care of their superstars, is they weren't going, hey, you need to take some time off, heal. It's no, take some drugs, so that you can perform.
Yeah, and it's not old either. I mean, Ravishing Rick Rude, he told the story about how he stopped taking steroids. And this is when the science of it was still relatively new, and people, guys who were trying to conceive children, they were worried about genetic mutations and all that. Mm-hmm. And Vince McMahon basically fired him. For stopping that his cannibal regime.
Oh shit! I hadn't heard that.
And that was 84, 85.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, in fact, the death of Chris, Nancy, and Daniel Benoit are coming up.
The Dark Side of the Ring series. You talking about?
No, the anniversary.
Yeah, the anniversary.
The actual murder suicide.
Yeah.
Is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
The sad part is I only remember because Chris Benoit actually passed away on my birthday.
Man.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, happy freaking birthday. One of my favorite freaking wrestlers passes away. But I mean, his dad had his brain tested because of the football players that had multiple concussions. Mm-hmm. And they were going, yeah, no, he had the brain of like, what was it, like an 80 or 90-year-old man? Mm-hmm. I think they were saying.
Yeah.
There was like a journal I think I had heard or read somewhere. I've looked a lot into the Chris Benoit thing. That, I mean, he was devastated with Eddie's death. I mean, I think he seemed like it hit him harder than it hit even Chavo or Ray. And it hit them pretty hard because, I mean, that was his nephew, Chavo. That was his nephew right there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, coupling those together, God only knows what went through his head.
Yeah.
And then because there were steroids found in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we don't know what happened. But it's not right. But you also shouldn't take everything he accomplished away from him.
Yeah.
Like I said, keep him out of the freaking Hall of Fame, whatever. But don't try to delete him. Mm-hmm. Sorry, it irritates the daylights out of me.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember there was like a 3-year period where they basically erased the man who made professional wrestling what it was, the man who made WWF, what it was, Hulk Hogan, for like 3 years over his saying the N-word in what he thought was a private conversation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, he's over 50 and he's from Florida. What do you expect?
I mean, and I hate that word with a passion. I hate that word. But I mean, everybody should also have, within reason, the right to say what they think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that he was having an intimate moment with. It's weird. It's that whole sex tape scandal. Yeah, he thought he was having an intimate moment where he could speak his mind, and like I said, I don't like using that. I don't like that word either. I feel weird saying it out loud or even writing it down on a piece of paper.
Oh, I don't even do either of those.
Yeah.
There are really only 2 words that I really.
But my parents, Central Valley, Okie redneck. I mean, they had no problem saying it as casually as, say, shampoo bottle.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that big a deal for them. And that's how I do that whole situation with Hulk Hogan back in 2015. And he's over 50 and he's from Florida. Big frigging deal. They didn't need to do that to him.
What you do all over your floor and apparently the baby spit up.
Mm-hmm.
But
babies do that.
Thank you. That's what I don't get is she's 5 months already.
Yeah.
And all of you sitting there going, don't spit up on me, don't puke on me, don't throw up on me. Dude, it's one of the few things she knows how to do at this point.
I mean, I'd be worried if she didn't do those things.
Yeah. But it's like there's probably really only 2 words that I won't say. The N-word is one of them. The other one starts with a C, and it's usually one that's used for a female. And I just no. I understand that the N-word is usually, apparently the correct definition is somebody that's ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. For decades at least, if not centuries. I don't know. I'm not that old. Mm-hmm. And I didn't pay attention in history. I admit this. It was used as a derogatory term.
Yeah.
So I cannot get myself to use it.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is just, it's too derogatory to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, to females. But it's frustrating. Like, a friend of mine actually, those posts where it's like you see a spider on a toilet or you see a snake on your door handle, the posts on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what would you do? And she was like, burn the house down. And Facebook was like, oh, hey, no, that's not community standards. And I'm like,
Oh boy.
seriously?
Uh,
Just because somebody's saying, I'm sorry, if I saw that outside my house, I probably wouldn't actually burn the house down, but I mean, I'd want to
yeah.
burn the house down.
I once caught a 3-day ban because I had made fun of people who were making derogatory terms about Middle Easterners. I wasn't making a derogatory. I wasn't using the derogatory language. I was making fun of them, and I caught a 3-day ban. I tried to appeal it, nothing doing. Then there was, yeah. Then there was that time. So it was the winter of 2019. Caught a 10-day ban, and they didn't tell me what I did.
That's bullcrap.
Yeah. Yeah, I was yeah, when I was finally allowed to post again, I said I I I I I I would be remorseful for whatever it was that landed me in Facebook jail if I knew what it was I did.
I mean, I guess maybe my stuff's tame. I didn't realize it was, but I've never even gotten a whiff that I've done anything inappropriate. Makes me glad, but
Yeah.
I mean, because I mean, I admit that I've never really had problems with the law or anything like that. I mean, heck, freaking the other day, the cops at the door. It's like,
Yeah, I remember that.
no, we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever caught whoever they were looking for.
Yeah, they said they were looking for some guy who had a lot of tattoos on his face, and I said, "Gee, that really narrows it down in this neighborhood."
Yeah, that narrows it down in this area.
Yeah.
See, they didn't even tell. I don't even think they gave us that much information. They just said that somebody had told them that whoever it was they were looking for had hopped our fence.
Yeah.
And hey, can we take a look in your backyard?
I mean, I would have heard some sort of commotion if that happened.
Well, not if it would have been like the other side, though.
Yeah.
Or maybe even the front. But then if it would have been the front, we would have heard that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it would have been over here, yeah, it would have. As I'm pointing all over, I talk with my hands. I'm Italian. It's my story, and I am Italian, but that's still my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Which is probably
there's a bit of French in my family, and that pretty much explains why my mother, she also liked talking with her hands too.
According to my mom, her grandfather actually one time had her sit on her hands. She couldn't get a sentence out.
Yeah.
She really goes.
Yeah. Around 2005, 2006, my mother tripped, busted her hand, and she just had a very hard time talking because she couldn't do this.
Yeah, I blame my family for my anger issues. Well, I'm Scotch Irish, I'm Italian, Spanish. I've got some fiery bloodlines.
Yeah. Anglo-Saxon, German, Scots, Irish here.
I got German. I'm a Heinz 57. I'm too mixed up.
Mhm.
I remember, and I think that's because little girl, I think it's going to have some red to her hair.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to come from my side of the family,
Uh-huh.
that Irish. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of sitting here going, I pay to get red hair. She's going to
Mhm.
get it naturally.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if she does get the red hair, I'm kind of afraid that she'll get made fun of because you don't see anyone with red hair anymore.
Hmm.
Pretty much everybody's blonde, brunette, according to Alden, black hair.
Black hair. No, it's all black. It's all black.
Mhm.
I said he's got to put his 2 cents in.
Yeah.
But
Here's something really trippy. There's this. There was this ethnic group that lived in the Appalachians. They were called Melungeons or Black Dutch. What would happen is a Scots Irish indentured servant after working his 7-year contract or during a 7-year contract, what would happen is he would fall in love with a black girl. And once he worked his seven years off, he would purchase her or, liberate her from the plantation. They'd go out into the mountains, have children, and then those children would interact and intermarry with the neighboring Native Americans, Seminoles, Cherokees, and so on. So you had these really dark-skinned people who would call themselves Black Dutch or Portuguese to so they wouldn't be harassed by slave patrols.
yeah.
And yeah, my great grandfather's first wife was Melungeon. So there's this whole, yeah, she wasn't my great grandmother, but it was his first wife. So
Yeah.
there's like this whole branch of the bird family in central Texas. They look like they might be from Pakistan or northern India, but they all talk like J.R. Ewing and Ross Perot.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah. Logan's actually he's what, like, let's see. I think, oh my God. So Eric would be half Portuguese. So take that. I think Logan's like quarter Portuguese. And man, it's not fair because that kid can tan. And it's like, I get in the sun for more than like 20 minutes. I swear to God, and I burn. Like, that's not fair. How come he gets the tan? But, oh,
Yeah, my dad was a plasterer and hod carrier for most of his adult life. Like the only time he didn't do it was the 2 years he spent in the army. And by the time he was around 50 or so, his face was basically just red leather with green eyes staring out of it.
oh wow.
Yeah.
That had to look trippy.
He would work in the hot sun 12 hours a day, sometimes 7 days a week. And he did that from, other than those 2 years he served in the army, he did that from like 1957 to 1995.
I'm not doing the math, but that's a lot of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's, he's been on disability for longer than I can remember. Well, not really, but he got on disability back in I think 97. But I don't think he really worked very steadily before that.
Yeah, I mean, the story was my grandfather, he, being a product of 19th century, frontier living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was born in 1892 when Oklahoma was still a territory, and being as old as he was by the 1950s, he thought formal education beyond the eighth grade is just a waste of time. So he would pull most of his kids out of school and just put them to work on the peach orchard where the family lived most of the year.
Oh wow.
My my dad had an uncle who said, "Hey, you wanna make money?" So that's how he got started in construction.
Yeah, these days that's probably no. That's probably actually a good place to make some money, but there's so many houses already out there that
Yeah.
there's probably really nobody building anymore.
Yeah, I tried getting a job with my dad's old employer a few years ago, and it was it was like, nope, I mean the office and the phone number is still there, but they haven't had a major project since Bush was president.
Of course, I'm sitting here going, okay, well, which Bush?
Junior.
Which, of course, sounds bad to me, but at least I can actually realize it.
Yeah.
Fine. But it sucks because, I mean, what this world was, when we were kids, we go play outside
Mm-hmm.
and not have to really worry.
Yeah.
But these days, I mean, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm sorry. These days, I mean, parents, I mean, it gets scary sending your own kids just to freaking school.
Yeah.
It worth it, but scary just the same.
Yeah, it's I mean, they're I mean, if my parents knew the stuff I did when I was going out and about, they probably would have kept a tighter leash on me.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
There was a time a friend and I would gotten our hands on something called the Anarchist Cookbook.
Oh wow. Okay. I never got like that.
Yeah. So we thought it would be kind of cool to if we tried out the recipe for homemade napalm. Soap shavings and gasoline. And when my friend's dad found out about it, he found out what we were doing. He was not happy at all.
Oh, I can imagine. If I caught my kids doing that, we'd have some issues. And that's another problem though, is I mean, sorry, a lot frustrates me these days. I understand there's a difference between discipline and beating your kids.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're not supposed to spank your kids at all is bull.
Yeah.
Because that's how we wound up with so many freaking mass shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, it's okay. Time out.
Yeah.
That ain't going to teach them nothing.
You know, I got whipped when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know, my
remember-
parents would tell me no frequently.
I mean, I
And,
remember a horsehair belt one time.
yeah. And you know, look at me now. I work 40 to 80 hours a week at a job where I have a reputation for, you know, dedication
Yeah.
and reliability. Pre-COVID, I regularly attended church. You know, I contribute to society.
Yeah.
Now I have a cousin who's about 3 years younger than I am. His parents never spanked him. Their idea of discipline was to just send him to his room where he could still play with his toys, read his comics, play video games, get on the phone with his friends. And in addition to that, they gave him everything he wanted and filled his head with all sorts of new age bunkum about how special he was. And guess where he is now? He's a 600-pound welfare bandit who pretends to be blind for disability money.
Wow.
Yeah, pretends to be blind for disability money, and thinks the world owes him a living.
See, that kind of bugs me. Okay,
Yeah.
more than kind of, because I mean, he's pretending,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes people that have legit freaking issues. You know, it's hard as hell for them to get on disability.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, and you know, I think and you know, he blocked me on Facebook when I very bluntly told him, look, if you can see well enough to troll people online all day long, then you can see well enough to round up carts at the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah.
And the broom around and face front shelves.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
I got disciplined. It turned out great. He never got disciplined, and he's a 40-year-old man who uses anime pictures as his profile pics on social media platforms. So go
okay.
figure. Yeah. Yeah,
Trying to think.
he's weird.
Well, there are a lot of weirdos out there. We do come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah.
Some of us look more normal. I mean, I wouldn't think that, and nobody owes me a damn thing.
Yeah.
You know. Now, am I on disability? Yes. But I have something to where you never know from one day to the next if I'm going to be able to move
Mhm.
because of how bad I hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, tomorrow I'm probably going to have to literally lay in bed for about a half an hour before I can get out of it. which is why I set my alarm for like 5 when the boys don't have to be up till 5:30. You know, um, I have anxiety issues. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like playing that game. Gunfire or fireworks?
Yeah, that one sounded more like a fireworking, and it's still just kind of.
Yeah. I mean, there was that one night, there was that really, where I heard like a really, really loud boom. And
Yeah.
and it sounded really close, and it sounded like it sounded like two 12-gauge barrels going off at the same time.
Oh wow! I didn't hear a damn thing, and
Yeah,
I didn't get your text until like the next day, some point.
Yeah.
It's like, oops, I didn't hear a damn thing.
Yeah.
But I've gotten so used to it that when I'm asleep, I don't hear it. If I'm awake, especially, God, was it only a year ago? I think it was only a year ago. Last year, husband's brother got killed. And nobody could get a hold of us because both of us had our phones to where it was do not disturb from like 9 to 6. Well, this happened at like 2 in the morning. And one of his sisters climbed one of the cars, that one of the neighbors had parked outside and hopped the fence. Which, of course, broke my little bubble that nobody could climb our fence. And so the smallest noise, a firework, which of course this time of year, everybody's setting off. So every time a firework or something, it almost gave me a freaking heart attack.
Yeah.
I was having panic attacks left and right, which wasn't good because I was pregnant. But yeah, it's weird because like I can sleep through them. Even when the house next door was on fire.
Yeah.
Apparently somebody had been, rattling the fence, trying to get us up. And finally somebody just hopped the fence and started pounding on the door.
Yeah.
And that's what finally woke us up. Because it's like whatever. But then again, I also used to live right next to a freeway. So I'm used to the noise.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would be able to sleep without as much noise as we've got. Though sometimes when I'm on the phone and we get, airplanes and trains and whatever other forms of transportation we've got around here that we can. In fact, it was funny, I was sitting out here yesterday or today. And one of the first times ever, I actually noticed the shadow from the plane. And I about freaking hit the ceiling.
I suppose one good thing about living so close to the airport was my very gizmo, he got a flyover.
Oh yeah. He repeatedly gets flyovers.
Yeah. Yeah, one of those small corporate jets came in low while I was putting him in the ground.
Oh, nice. He also gets visitors, I'm sure, quite often. Maybe not that close to him, but in the general area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was such a good mouser too. Wizard is just lazy. I could hear the noise or see some movement.
Uh-huh.
And I would point, I would get Wizard point at it, and all he would do is just squint,
Mhm.
go back to the couch, curl up.
Is it getting worse with them moving all that stuff?
Pardon?
Is it getting worse with them moving all that stuff out?
Um, I see like little mice here and there. You know, it could be. I guess the activity there could be stirring up the rodents. Not sure. There's a hole behind the refrigerator, so I'm gonna get some spackle and take care of that.
Okay. I wonder if we've got any of that left.
Yeah,
We have
yeah,
this, like, it looks like, oh, that stuff you have on the window screen. It kind of looks like like little squares, a screen.
yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Mhm.
And I guess you can put it over holes before you put.
Yeah,
I can see if we've got some. It might make it a little bit easier to tackle.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't do home repair. I do the cleaning when I can.
Yeah, that's yeah, that one critter. I've called him Long Tom, the one that I caught messing around in the food bowl. I still catch them by there every now and then.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I still can't get over it. That you know, there he is messing around with Gizmo's bowl. It's empty, and he actually begged me to feed it.
That's some balls right there.
Yeah, I mean, it
Makes
really.
you wonder though. I mean,
I
was somebody
grabbed my cavalry saber and went after it, and then it just jumped back to wherever it came from.
see me, that would make me run and I would run screaming.
Yeah,
Like actually I was like cleaning, like actually sweeping behind the washer and dryer today.
and I also saw him escape from one of my traps too. That yeah, I need to order me something more powerful than that to get him.
Damn.
Yeah,
What is this? Like a Houdini of freaking rodents?
yeah. He's like somewhere around a foot long, not counting the tail.
Oh,
I mean, his tail's like really thick, like a possum tail.
yeah, I ain't over no offense, I ain't going to your house anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, put it this way. I found a dead one behind the washer today.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I saw it, I leaned back
Yeah.
and I didn't even turn around. I walked backwards. Even though I knew it was dead, because
Mm-hmm.
I'd been sweeping back there.
Yeah.
And I walked backwards until I got out of the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turned around because husband was still asleep at this point, and I said, "You need to get that thing out of my laundry room." He goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "There's a dead rodent in my laundry room." And of course, he's like, "I'll get to it." And every time he'd come out, "You gonna get rid of my rodent?" At some point, "You gonna get rid of the rodent?" He finally got rid of the rodent. I don't. Mm-mm. No, I mean, And it wasn't even, I mean, it really wasn't that big, but uh
Yeah. Yeah,
what I need,
you gotta be very careful about handling dead rodents.
yeah. Well, anything that's dead.
Yeah, that's why I like those traps I ordered, that they have that little switch there. I can just take it to the garbage can, pull it, and it drops right in
Yeah.
there, right in the garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about touching it.
Yeah. But I'm just like, yeah, no, I don't do them. What I want to do, the problem is I want to get some mint because rodents don't like mint.
Mhm.
The problem is you can start with a little mint plant and it will take over everything.
Yeah.
Like I literally had a friend that it started out as a little plant and they had this was up on Big Hill up in Sonora.
Mhm.
It I don't know I don't know how to word it nicely. But they had a bathtub outside.
Yeah.
The bathtub was filled with mint.
Hmm.
And even that was becoming overgrown, So I mean I'd love to be able to get some mint plants, but I'm afraid it would choke the life out of anything else that, I would try to plant outside.
Yeah.
Because at least then, that and the fact I'm afraid it would trap anything that might be hidden in the house in the house. I don't like I'm in some ways I'm a girly girl. I don't like bugs. I don't like rodents. I hate snakes.
Yeah. I've seen snakes at my work site over in Carpenter.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was like one of those harmless, non-poisonous little garden snakes too. So yeah, there's also possums out there and raccoons. When I worked in a mental health complex down in Ceres, when I first started doing security, they had all those, and they had kit foxes too, gray kit foxes. They love chasing the laser dot.
They had what kind of foxes?
Gray kit foxes.
Now you're talking like a fox, and I know this makes me sound stupid, but like a fox, like the kind with a bushy, furry tail type fox,
Yeah,
and you were playing with them with the little red
yeah,
dot
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I had a laser pointer, and they like to chasing the laser pointer around.
You got more guts than I do, dude. Because as soon as I realized it wasn't a cat or a dog, I'd probably be running for the hills.
Yeah, yeah. Then there's
That
the
feels like it's coming this backside.
the hiking trail behind the park and behind the airport there, and then the hiking trail over Dry Creek, all sorts of critters.
Mm.
A few months ago, there were some mountain lion sightings at the Dry Creek Trail.
Oh wow.
They haven't caught it, but that's what happens when when you ban hunting mountain lions, and their population gets out of control, and sooner or later you'll start seeing them in places where you shouldn't be seeing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a lot of things you shouldn't see.
Yeah, I worked at the, I used to do swing shift security at the bus station. So I did see a lot of stuff I shouldn't have seen and can't even see.
I don't even think I want to know. I can just imagine some of the things you saw.
Yeah.
As my brain goes going, some of the things you used to do as a kid, Melissa.
Yeah, especially around the first of the month when they get their government checks and they get money to burn.
Yeah.
And the weird noises that would come out of the west side of the tracks. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but especially if you're on a fixed income, government, you would think that you would be trying to not spend the money because you got to make that shit last you all fucking month long.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the difference between responsible adults and everybody else.
Yeah. You see the people think whenever I talk about this, people think I'm unsympathetic to the plighted homeless people, but I'm not. I'm totally sympathetic to those who are putting in an effort to get themselves out of the situation they're in. But there are people who they won't go to they don't go to the shelters, they don't seek any sort of help. They just want to be out there. Be out there, panhandling, slinging dope, whatever, because they don't want responsibilities. They don't like following rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess that's like my big thing is, I mean, I feel for the homeless. I do. I just, I have problems giving them I guess I have problems mainly giving them money because you don't know what the hell that's going for.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm going to go to the store and, maybe grab them a sandwich or something, I wouldn't have as much problem with that.
Yeah.
Down the fact that, I mean, they can get aggressive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
I used to go to the library all the time for my internet stuff. Yeah, it was like, and I would have encounters with some of those people, and it'd be like borderline mugging, and then they would actually get within my 3-foot social zone, right? And started with their whole sob story. Oh, I need money to see my sick mom in Turlock. Could you help me out?
Yeah.
There was this black woman, right? Her spiel was, oh, I'm pregnant and hungry. Could you help? Well, she's been pregnant with the same damn kid for 3 years.
Oh God,
Yeah. I
that's
mean,
a little trauma pregnancy.
yeah. I mean, she tried pulling that spiel on me twice, and I was like, yeah. So when's the baby due? Like 2 years ago?
Well, like my problem is like, because obviously I'm a smoker, and I've had them be like, you know, hey, you got an extra cigarette? It's like cigarettes aren't cheap, you know.
Yeah.
So no, I don't, and then they'll be like, well, and this was even in the Bay,
Yeah.
and they'd be like, can I get a drag off of yours? I'm fucking
Where is
sharing my
your mouth
cigarette with,
bag?
huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. No, where's your mouse dead?
Yeah. It's like, dude, I don't know what you've got. Or they'll be like, well, can you save like half your cigarette for me? It's like, whoa, I mean, it's like, that's just too pushy for me. And
Yeah.
one thing
Yeah. Or
that,
they'll dig around in gutters or trash cans for butts, and I honestly cannot understand how anybody could be that weak-willed.
I mean, I'm pretty weak-willed when it comes to my cigarettes, but not that fucking weak-willed.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I'll go without a cigarette if it's between that and smoking God knows whose cigarette that they could have laced with God knows what,
Yeah.
and God knows what they could have on their mouth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not only is it a health hazard, well, no, it's altogether a health hazard, but, I mean, you could either contract something or, it could be laced with something and God knows what that could do to you.
Yeah.
And I need to turn my light bulb on. Ow. So we couldn't see him. Turn the light on. I mean, I understand, wanting a cigarette because, I mean, every morning that's one of the first things I do is I light a cigarette when I get out of bed. But, I mean, to smoke from somebody you don't know,
Yeah.
that's scary shit,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. It's funny thing you mentioned the Bay. Is that you got San Francisco and Oakland and the other coastal cities and even SoCal. A lot of them are just sending their homeless up here.
Are they really?
Mhm.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
And there are still people who are in just total denial over it. Oh, you're just being a conspiracy theorist. Well, I used to work at the Greyhound station. I saw it up close and personal on a daily basis for a year and a half.
Honestly,
One guy who stepped right off the bus asked me for directions to the welfare office, and he gave me a list of addresses to the welfare office, the two shelters, Gospel Mission, Salvation Army, a methadone clinic, and the letterhead was Episcopal Diocese of San Francisco.
oh, shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like,
Yeah, the Episcopal Church can't take care of the needs of the homeless in San Francisco, so they just ship them here.
yeah. Well, they can't help their mentally ill either, because, like, I mean, they ship everybody out.
Yeah.
They don't care. Sorry,
Mhm.
they don't care,
Oh yeah.
and that's the problem.
Yeah, about 10 years ago, Hawaii started giving plane tickets to their homeless. And guess where they flew to? California.
I almost,
Guess where a lot of those people eventually wound up.
yeah, I almost want to say maybe we should start sending our homeless to Hawaii, but fuck, I'd rather go to Hawaii. I know
Yeah,
somebody who just recently
yeah.
went to Hawaii, and I'm like, I should have told him to bring me some sand back, so I could at least, go. Oh, hey, I dipped my toe in Hawaiian sand.
Mhm.
Because I mean, would I like to go? Yes, but my kids come first,
Yeah.
you know, and they always will. So I don't know that I'll ever make it there. Not to mention, it's probably overhyped. I mean,
Mhm.
the pictures looks beautiful,
Yeah.
but I can see a sunset from anywhere.
Yeah. The cost of living over there is, if you think it's bad here, it's awful over there, and property taxes are just god awful.
Oh, I
It's
hate
it's a miracle that it's a wonder that anyone can actually afford to live there. Period.
yeah. Well, maybe that's what they're trying to do is kick everybody that lives there out and make it just a visitors
Yeah.
place. I wouldn't doubt it. There's people like that out there.
Mhm.
And that's scary too. Is it there's people that just they don't care.
Yeah.
There's some that do, but there's others that just they don't.
Mhm.
I've been trying to figure out this Medicare thing, and it's like nobody wants to freaking help me figure it out.
Mhm.
So, and I've called them I've actually called them and started crying because I'm so frustrated. You know, and they're like, well, sorry, nothing we can do. But, oh, wow, it's actually gone down like, what, almost 10 degrees?
Yeah. My computer says 75.
Yeah, so is mine.
Yeah. I guess it's a new feature that came with the update.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out when it happened because I don't remember actually updating my computer, but it
Yeah,
just showed up today.
it's just something it's just something that Microsoft does every once in a while,
Uh,
which is cool because no, I I used to read the print edition of the Modesto B Daily, and cited that it would be it's just a lot cheaper to just subscribe to it online,
uh-huh.
and then I can just read the stories that interest me.
Yeah, it's frustrating though because like when I do see some stories and it's like I wanted to read them, it's like, oh, you've got to subscribe. It's like, yeah, no, I'll find another way to get the information. Thank you.
Yeah. So it's a lot cheaper for me to to do it that way. But one of the reasons why I would read the paper daily is because one of the things I would do is I would follow the weather, and Then I
Yeah.
stopped, and then just switched to, the online, format, and then I would just have to hop on Bing and check the weather that way. Now I don't really have to because, temperature's right there.
Yeah. Oh, see, I usually just go to my phone. Like, I was sitting there and I looked earlier. Oh, thank God. It's gone down 2 degrees.
Hmm.
Oh, no. Friday, it was saying it was supposed to be 111
Yeah.
on Friday. Now it's saying 109.
Mhm.
So I will take whatever I can get.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Ugh.
Yeah. See, it's too bad. It's too bad my company won't let me wear shorts with the uniform.
Yeah, because that's gotta be hotter than Hades for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember first starting out, one of my coworkers asked our supervisors about that, and they were like, we have contracts in Reno and Las Vegas, and they wear pants still.
Oh
They,
my
yeah, they wear and they wear the polyester uniform pants.
Oh,
Yeah.
yikes. Because Polly doesn't freeze. Oh, that's gotta be hell.
Yeah.
Now, are they wearing uh sorry, the old work coming through. Were they wearing the like 100% poly pants or poly cotton blend? Did you know?
I don't know, but
Oh,
we our uniforms we get issued polyester pants.
uh,
I just wear the I just wear the Dickies work slacks because they're tougher
yeah.
than
Yes,
than
those are still 65 polyester, 35 cotton.
yeah.
I used to sell them. I know what they're made of.
Yeah.
I don't remember the weight of the cotton anymore, though. Um, no, that doesn't add up right. Hold on a sec. Oh, I don't know. I'll look it up later. I was trying to remember what the ratio was on Ben Davis pants because I know no, they're 50-50, I think. I know Ben Davis are more cotton than polyester, or at least more. There's more cotton than poly. There's more cotton in them than Dickies,
Mhm.
but the pockets are different,
Yeah.
and they are a heavier weight material. So that, and apparently there's nowhere up here to get them.
I think Crescent sells Ben Davis.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
I actually had somebody tell me that they didn't sell Ben Davis up here.
I saw them last time I was there.
Okay. Because honestly, I was sitting there thinking Work World, because there's a Work World somewhere up in here, up in this area.
Mhm.
The Ceres, Turlock, Modesto area.
Yeah.
And I would think that they would have had the Ben Davis,
Mhm.
but maybe it's just a certain kind of shirt, the t-shirts. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the actual, work clothes, work shirts and.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is because I mean these are like the logo T-shirts, just plain T-shirts with the logos and stuff on them. It might be different with the actual, half zip pullover shirts and the pants.
Mhm.
That is, I'm sorry. I know this is extremely rude, but it is really freaking bugging me that I cannot remember.
Um,
I worked there for so long that it's like they're made in freaking China, folks.
yeah,
Um,
so is everything else.
well, they were made actually in America until what? The really early 2000s.
Mhm,
And I think it was Frank Davis, which is actually Ben Davis's son.
mhm.
At least this is what I heard. Kind of screwed himself, or no, he did. But what it was it was talks with um like the union,
Yeah,
and they had put in the union magazines a picture with the Ben Davis logo with blood dripping down the teeth,
yeah,
saying, don't buy Ben Davis anymore. They're not American made. They're made overseas. Well, they decided, you know what? Well, we're going to make them right. And they did.
yeah.
No, those are not 100% cotton. Oh, that's why. I'm like, the original pants are not 100% cotton, folks. It doesn't tell you what the blend is. Well, what freaking good are you?
Yeah. When I was a lot younger, I was on a boycott China kick because of the human rights situation over there, but
Mm,
eventually just became too impractical because everything's made in China.
yeah.
You know,
Unfortunately, very much so. Not a whole lot made over here anymore. I forget what I was looking at lately or recently, but it said that it was American made, and I'm like, holy Jesus, that's surprising.
Mhm.
Sky looks so pretty out right now.
Yeah.
Like a really pretty kind of dark blue, kind of gray, or like a bluish. I want to say like a tint of gray.
And yeah, when I at my work site, I live the work site is like
Yeah.
it's like there's like this veterinary hospital for large animals behind it. So sometimes I'll watch the sun go down, and on the property are these three palm trees. So it's a nice little view.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I kind of like sitting out back, as you can see the sky.
Well,
not have to deal with seeing all the neighbors.
yeah. Yeah. I have a telescope, but I haven't gotten around to assembling it.
Hmm?
I have a telescope, but I haven't gotten around to assembling it.
Mm,
But yeah, I used to take it out and put it together, and watch the stars. And what really got me started on astronomy was Chad Horkheimer. He was an astronomy professor out in Florida who would host these 15-minute segments on PBS. It was at Channel 6 over here. So yeah, it was around the same time as Halley's Comet, 86, 87.
yeah.
So eventually when I worked at Big Lots, I found a telescope. Always wanted one. It's not as sophisticated as the stuff they push in the magazines, but if I get around to affording something that sophisticated, I at least have a basic idea of how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't see anything like the rings of Saturn or anything like that. But if you point it directly at the moon, you can see mountains and canyons.
Oh, the dogs are going crazy.
Huh?
Oh, the neighbor's dogs.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's getting a little late. It was a good conversation though.
I agree. I would say that I don't know what time it is, but I can tell it's getting late because it's getting dark.
Yeah.
I
It's
can't
about
read.
right.
I can't read the time on my computer.
Yeah, it's 9-ish.
Ah,
9:03 exactly.
okay. Yeah, I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I haven't had my eyes checked in probably over 5 years. So probably need a new pair by now. I agree. Very nice conversation.
Yeah.
You ever want to do it again? I would definitely be up for it.
All right.
Probably better on a Saturday night though.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Okay, so it was a good conversation. It was nice talking to you. I'm sure we'll be seeing each other around again. So
I'm sure I will see you soon. Yes.
yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye.